Welcome to our English speaking practice class. We are going to have so much fun today. You are going to practice speaking in English. You're going to expand your vocabulary. You're going to practice different structures as well. And you're probably wondering, well, Jennifer, what are we going to practice speaking about? You are going to talk about an amazing weekend. Now, notice how I said last weekend. Because if I just said the word an amazing weekend, you don't know if it's past or future. So I have to give you the keyword. And that time reference keyword is last weekend. So, of course, what verb tense are you going to be speaking in? What verb tense are you going to be practicing throughout this English speaking practice class? Well, I think it's pretty obvious. Last weekend, even my beginner students know this. So if you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, this is really great practice for you. Of course, you're using the past simple. The past simple because it's a completed past action. Now, remember, this is an English speaking practice class. So I want you to answer out loud. I want you to open your mouth and say the answer out loud. Of course, write it in the comments as well, but then open your mouth and say it. Plus, when I read an answer or share an answer, you can also open your mouth and imitate my pronunciation, shadow my pronunciation, so you get comfortable with the way the words are pronounced and also how the sounds are connected so you sound very fluent, advanced, and natural. So, how about your amazing weekend? Well, here is what I want you to share an example on. Of course, you need to use your imagination. So here's an adorable picture that just melts my heart. So last weekend. Now, you can be flexible with the subject. You can say last weekend, of course, you can use the subject I. You can say last weekend, my family. Last weekend, my kids and I, my husband and I, my wife and I, my friend and I. Or maybe you're even talking about a third person. Last weekend, my coworker. Last weekend, my best friend. Last weekend, my neighbor. So you don't always have to use the subject I. And in fact, I encourage you to use different subjects because when we practice, we often use the subject I, but you need to practice other subjects. Thankfully for the past simple, thankfully for you, there is no subject verb agreement. So it's the exact same for all subjects, but still, it's so useful to practice different subjects. So, what about you? What could you say about this? Last weekend, last weekend, we, last weekend, my family. What could you say about this picture? And notice I want a positive statement in the past. So while you're thinking of this, while you're imagining the answer, let me say hello because I see a lot of students in the chat. All right. Well, hello, Alan. So nice having you here. Hello, Mozab. Greetings all the way to Sudan to you. Hello, Belshwar. Very nice having you. And we have Mamuna from Pakistan. Welcome, welcome. Okay, we have a lot of students here. Hello, everyone. Maria, hello. KK, hello. Oh, it's 9 p.m. Well, thank you for staying up with me. I appreciate that. All right, Maria. Last weekend, the family gathered all together. Okay, that's great. Now, how does that relate to the picture on the screen? So what did we gather together to watch? The polar bears, for example. That could be one. Maybe you watched a documentary or a movie about polar bears. That could be one. Now, there's a little mistake in here. Last weekend, the family. I see this a lot from students, even my advanced students. So if you use a possessive my, you don't use an article, the. It's either my family or the family, but you don't use a possessive and an article. A possessive replaces the article. Okay, let's see if we have some examples. AK said, last weekend, my sister came over. Okay. Two, how does that relate to the picture on the screen? Two, watch a movie about polar bears, about bears, to look at the photos I took of polar bears when I was on vacation. So you can start with a simple sentence, but then add more details, make it more complex, get creative. Okay, what do we have here? We have a lot of comments. Moses said, my family and I had an awesome day last weekend. Okay, very nice. That's very nice, everyone. Okay. Nobody is giving me an example about the picture on the screen. So make sure you give me an example with the picture as well, because I want you to get creative. So here we have one. Not this one. Okay, this one. Jonathan said, last week, my family took a photo with bears. Exactly, because took is the past simple of the verb take. Remember, there is no subject verb agreement in the past simple. So it could be any subject and the verb would still be take or took in the past simple. My family took a photo. You take a photo. Sometimes students say make a photo. That's not the verb we use in English. We use took. My family took a photo with bears. Exactly. Excellent job. Now, if you say with bears, it means your family is in the picture as well. And that's great. You can absolutely use your imagination and pretend you're in the picture. But if you're taking a picture of something else, you use the preposition of. My family took a photo of bears. So that's if you're not in the photo and it's just the bears. If you are also in the photo, it's a selfie, you and the bears, then you use the preposition with. Okay. Well, Vlad, you're close. You talked about monkeys instead of bears, but I'll use this. Last weekend, I watched BBC program about monkeys. Well, let's change it to the photo and use bears, about polar bears. Okay, so you are missing an article because program is a countable noun. So you need to add the article, a BBC program, about monkeys, or in this case, about polar bears. Rita said, last weekend we watched a movie about polar bears. The film was fantastic. Exactly. And everyone, make sure you're opening your mouth and practicing along as well, practicing that pronunciation, practicing that connected speech. Now, I love how Rita made this simple sentence more complex simply by sharing her opinion on the film. The film was fantastic. Very nicely done. Sandeep said, last weekend we got together to watch a documentary about polar bears' life. Very nice. I like that, Sandeep. Nicely said. The only thing is, documentary is also a single countable noun. So you need an article to watch a documentary about polar bears life. I would just say about polar bears, or you could say about the life of polar bears. The life of polar bears. Very nice. Maria. Maria used the bears as the subject. I love it, Maria. Awesome job. Awesome job, Maria. Okay, last weekend, this bear family. So, bear would be the adjective to describe the family. So, you wouldn't have a plural on it. It's this singular, this family, because family is a collective noun. This family is super cute, adorable, ferocious because they're bears. This bear family, okay, this bear family don't need the members. If you use members, now it's actually you need these members. So let's get rid of members. This bear family spent time outside enjoying snow. I love it. And great job getting spent time enjoying, because the expression to spend time, that's a gerund expression, and that's why we have enjoying as the ing. And great job getting spent. That's the past simple of the verb spend. I always spend time with my family. Last weekend, I spent time. So notice that pronunciation of that T, spent time with my family. Okay. Let's move on to our next photo. Before we do, of course, are you enjoying this lesson? If you are, let me know. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already so you're notified every time I post a lesson. And then put yes, 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 so I know you like this lesson. Put yes, 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 so I know you want more lessons like this. And now our next photo. Seems like we're on a theme here, an animal theme. I do really love animals. So let's do a positive statement again. So same thing. Last weekend. Now, there are more people in this photo, so maybe you could use they as the subject, or we, or maybe you could talk about your neighbors, your friends, your coworkers, or again, maybe you're watching a movie, maybe you're watching a documentary. Maybe you're looking at a photo. So it doesn't mean that you experience this personally. You could be looking at a photo. So let me know. Last weekend, they, we, I, this man, this couple, my neighbors. So try different subjects and then we'll see. We'll see how you do. Okay, and everyone is saying yes for more lives. Oh, I'm so glad everyone's enjoying it. I'm so glad. So AK said yes, and Sanina said yes. Maria said yes. William said, of course, awesome. Jonathan said yes. Mew Mew said yes. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support. Edu said yes. And if you're not watching live, if you're watching the replay, still put yes, because I reply to all your comments and practice along. Share your examples as well, because I reply to the comments. And it doesn't matter if you're watching the replay or the live, we can still interact together, and make sure you still practice your speaking. The King of King. I like that name. Very strong. Says yes. Freddie says, of course. Woohoo. Sania wants a partner. So anyone, practice your speaking with Sania. Say you can arrange a time to practice together. Okay. Belshwar, I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'm probably not. My apologies. Says, last weekend, two guys washing the elephant on the river. Okay. So you have I think that's just a typo. So I'm going to ignore that. But what verb tense is this in? We have last weekend, which is great, but then washing. You're missing some words, or you used the wrong word. So how can we improve this? How can we correct this? Well, you could say last weekend, two guys washed. So notice that pronunciation, because we have wash, That's the base verb to wash. But then in the ed, the past simple, it's a very soft T. Washed, washed. Everybody repeat that. Washed. I washed my hair. I washed my hands. He washed the elephant. Okay, it's very soft. And then in a fast conversation or natural speech, you won't hear that T. It will be so soft, you won't even hear it. But you understand based on context because you hear last weekend or yesterday. So you know it's in the past. So last weekend, two guys washed the elephant in the river. In the river. So they are in the river. On would be the surface of. So maybe there is a leaf or a toy floating on the river. So something could be floating on the river. So that would be on the river, but under would be considered in the river. Okay, awesome, everyone. Here's a great one. Beckety said, last week, my friend watched a TV show about elephants in Africa. I love it. Perfect sentence. And I love how you used my friend. Practice using different structures. Or different subjects. It's very useful to get that practice. Now, again, thankfully, with the past simple, there is no subject verb agreement, but it's still fun to practice. Okay, and notice we had washed, washed. I washed my hands, and now I have watched. Wow, isn't that similar in pronunciation? Watched, watched, washed, watched. Practice that. Washed, watched. So this one is wash, watched. Practice that. They're very, very similar. And it's context that will make it obvious. I washed my hands. I watched a movie. It's the context that helps you understand which one. Okay, let's keep going. Mozab said, last week we have this concept in English of irregular verbs. In the past simple, there are many irregular verbs. The past simple is generally an easier verb tense for students because there is no subject verb agreement. Many of the verbs end in ed, but there are irregular past simple. So what's the irregular past simple here? I know my smart students know it. What's the irregular past simple? Last week I rode. Exactly. Andrew knew it. Last week I rode an elephant. Okay, awesome. Otherwise, nice sentence. Okay. And William said, last week, a couple, excellent, a couple was washing an elephant. Very nice. Now, this is excellent. I love your sentence, William. But technically, what verb tense is this? And this is a great sentence. So excellent job. The couple was washing, because the past simple is washed. Last week, a couple washed an elephant. Now, the past continuous uses the verb to be and the ing. We'll practice that in a different live stream, but excellent sentence, William, because this shows the action in progress rather than a completed past action. Very nice sentence. Okay, Sweetie said, last weekend, my neighbors went to Thailand. Excellent. The irregular of the verb go is went. I'm sure you know that. My neighbors went to Thailand and experienced an elephant ride for the first time. What a nice sentence. Bravo. Excellent job. I love how you said experienced an elephant ride for the first time. So adding those small details really makes your sentence sound advanced. Great job. Okay. Barrow said, last week we bounced off about an elephant theme park in Africa and mustered up all papers on the desk. Very nice. Very nice. Excellent job. Very creative as well. This could absolutely be an elephant theme park. Excellent job. Okay. Ines said, last weekend I saw a documentary. So see is the base verb and saw is the irregular past simple. I saw a documentary in which it was talked about of elephants in danger. Oh, very nice. Yes. Last weekend, I saw a documentary which talked about elephants in danger. So you had some extra words that aren't needed. The documentary which talked about talk about something. You don't need that extra preposition. Talked about elephants in danger. Excellent sentence. Very nice. Rashmi said, last weekend I visited a national park. So notice the pronunciation here. What do you notice? Visited. Visited. So the base verb is visit, visit. And then when you have the past simple, what happens? Visited, visited, visited. So you add that extra syllable. That's because the word visit ends in a T. If the word ends in a T or a D, for example, need, needed, want, wanted. So if it ends in a D or a T, you add an extra syllable only for those two. They end in a T or a D. I visited a national park. There, I saw an elephant enjoying his bath with his instructors. I love it. Very nice sentence. Excellent job. Okay, wow. We have a lot of comments. I would love to read them all, but let's continue on. Okay. Ooh, something I would probably not do. What about you? Would you do this activity? Last weekend, you can use the subject I, she, my wife, my sister, my mother, my aunt, my coworker, my neighbor, my girlfriend, my fiance, whatever subject you want. Let's practice different subjects. Oh, last weekend, she, or maybe you want to use yourself as well. Last weekend, I. Has anyone done anything like this? I know this is a popular thing for tourists to do. I don't know if I would personally do this. Last weekend, here we go. Manuel said, oh, good job, Manuel. You're brave. Last weekend, I was scuba diving. Very nice. I was scuba diving in the middle of sharks. Yes. So that's the activity that she's doing if you're not familiar. This is called scuba diving. Exactly as Manuel wrote it. He wrote it. The spelling is perfect. Great job. Now, I was scuba diving. You can also use the verb go. So if we're talking about the past simple, last weekend, the past simple of the verb go, I went scuba diving. I was scuba diving. Both of them are correct. In the middle of sharks. Wow. Whales and dolphins in the south of Tenerife. Very nice, Manuel. Very nice. Okay. Oh, this is from the last one, but I like this because this is an interesting one. I dreamed. Exactly. So I talked about, oh, maybe you saw a picture or you watched a movie or a friend told you about this experience. But what if you just had a dream? I love it, Andrew. Very creative. Last weekend, I dreamed about, and notice you dream about something. Oh, what did you dream about last night? Did you have any interesting dreams? I dreamt that, or I dreamt about going scuba diving with sharks. Okay, very nicely done. Jamie said, last weekend I was snorkeling in the beach with my wife. Yeah, very nice. So, the activity here, like I said before, is called scuba diving. Snorkeling is very similar, but with snorkeling, you don't have oxygen. So, notice how in her hand she has oxygen so she can stay under the water for long periods of time. And generally, when you scuba dive, you go very deep in the water. But when you snorkel, you just have the mask, and then there's a little stick with a tube, and you stay closer to the surface of the water. And you generally don't go deep in the water. So, excellent job. You can absolutely use snorkeling, just so you know the difference between scuba diving and snorkeling. Very nice. Zachariah said, last week I was scuba diving in the middle of sharks for a couple of hours. Yeah, exactly. You can use in the middle of, that's correct. You can also simply use the preposition with. I was scuba diving with sharks, with sharks. So, generally, when you're a tourist, you might see a brochure, a pamphlet, a flyer, an advertisement that says scuba diving with sharks, scuba diving with sharks, or swimming with sharks, maybe swimming with dolphins, swimming with sharks, swimming with whales, things like that. Okay. Here we go. Rita said, last weekend, my sister went diving. Absolutely. You can also drop the scuba and just say diving, especially in the scuba diving community. People who do it as an activity, they probably just talk about it as diving. Oh, are you going diving? Where did you go diving? Let's go diving. Last weekend, my sister went diving. She practices this activity twice a week. Excellent job expanding on this very simple sentence and adding more information. And great job changing your verb tense to the present simple because this is now a routine action. Really nicely done. I love that. Oh, here's an interesting one. Barrow said, last week, I remembered my oath at college and fulfilled it by having a photo taken in the aqua park pool with some drowsy and calm sharks. This is very creative. So I remembered my oath. So an oath is, for example, Barrow said when he was in college, he said to his friends, I promise one day or before I turn 30, I'm going to go swimming with sharks. So now he fulfilled that oath. Very nicely done. Okay. Oh, here's a different one. Last weekend, I entered under the sea to hunt a shark. Oh, wow. That's very creative. Very nice. I like that. Under the sea. Okay. How about let's move on to a different structure. So let's practice. Oh, let's practice. We already did this one. So how about we're going to skip this? Let's do a negative. We haven't practiced negatives yet. So we practice positives. Let's move on and do a negative. So I gave you the model here just to help you. But remember, the past simple is easy because you don't have to change your verb conjugation with the subject. Okay, so we have subject, didn't as the contraction, did not, didn't, and then the base verb. And of course, you can add more information to make this a more advanced subject as well. Now, of course, because we're using didn't, I chose some pictures that are a little more negative. So, based on this picture, what did this man, this student, your friend, your brother, your boyfriend, your husband, your coworker, your neighbor, or you didn't do? So think of the subject, think of the activity, but remember it has to be negative. Okay. Yeah, so he is not. That is the present simple. But we want to make this in the past. So Manuel said he did not pass the final task. I'm afraid of it. Well, don't be afraid of it, Manuel. I'm sure you'll do great. Okay, excellent job. And remember to sound more like a native speaker, to sound more advanced, fluent, natural. You can take that did not and repeat after me. Didn't, didn't. So notice how I'm not really pressing out that T. Didn't. That's the full pronunciation. Didn't, didn't. He didn't pass the final task. Excellent sentence. Okay, Freddie said, even though she studied all time, she unfortunately failed her test. Wow. Great job, Freddie, making it more advanced by adding a clause, even though. Okay, just a couple of things I want to help you out with. Even though is 2 words, even though she studied all the time. You need the all the time. Even though she studied all the time, she unfortunately, I like how you added unfortunately as well. She unfortunately failed her test. So here the verb is fail, pass, and then fail. She unfortunately failed her test. Now, technically, this is a positive statement because it's not using didn't, but still, great job, Freddie. I like your sentence. Really nicely done. Okay. Julia said, last weekend, I didn't burn the midnight oil for sitting the exam. That a foregone conclusion was most likely the unfavorable outcome. Very nice. I like this. I didn't burn the midnight oil. Very nice. So if I burned, that would be the past simple. I burned the midnight oil. That means I worked late into the night. And it could be I worked at my job or I studied as well. I worked late into the night. I studied late into the night, but I didn't. I didn't burn the midnight oil. So I stopped studying around 3 p.m., watched a movie about sharks, and then I failed. Okay, Horatio said, my friend didn't pass any exam. Yeah. I think he won't graduate this year. Oh, very nice. I like how you added on your opinion. I think he won't graduate this year. Very nice. Nice to make it more advanced. My friend didn't pass. If you use any, then you need to add an S to your noun. My friend didn't pass any exams. Any exams. Okay. This is a good one. I didn't get the result. Exactly. So think more creatively. I didn't get the result of the final exam. Very nice. So your verb is get in the base verb. Okay. I like this one. Despite having stayed up all night. So notice here, you can say all night, but with the word time, you can't say all time, all the time, all night, all morning, all afternoon, all weekend, all the time. So that's an exception with the word time. Despite having stayed up all night to prepare for the exam, excellent. He didn't do well. Exactly. I did well, but then the negative. I didn't do well. He didn't do well. Very good. He didn't get the job. Exactly. This is creative. He didn't want to pass the test and he did it. I think you just have a typo for there. And he did it. Exactly. Maybe he didn't want to pass because if he passes the test, he'll get into this specific school that his parents want him to go to. But he doesn't want to go to that school. So he failed the test on purpose. Oh, we're being creative now. Very nice. Okay, I like this one, Susan. My cousin is very stressed because he didn't get good results in his final exams. Very nice. I like how you added just a little more information. Simply adding this one piece of information, my cousin is very stressed. It makes it sound more advanced. Really nicely done, everyone. Excellent job. Oh, Jamie said he didn't study for the exam because of video games. Exactly. He was too busy playing video games. He didn't study. Exactly. Oh, here's a good one. Asham said he didn't hit the jackpot with passing his final exam. Yeah, because if you hit the jackpot, so the verb is hit, but in the past simple, the verb hit is still hit. So the verb hit is irregular. All three conjugations are hit. I hit the jackpot last week. So this means you achieved a great result, but we often use this because of luck. So I hit the jackpot by getting an amazing client, for example, and it was just luck, but he didn't hit the jackpot. Very nice. Oh, Julia is so sweet. She's encouraging you to smash that like button to support this channel. A lot of YouTubers say that smash that like button. It just means to press like with a lot of force and enthusiasm. Thank you, Julia. That's very sweet of you for promoting that. I appreciate it. And yes, everybody smash that like button and smash subscribe as well. Okay, Lychee said he didn't brush up on his subject. Excellent job. So the phrasal verb is to brush up on something. This is a phrasal verb that requires two prepositions, up, on. You use on when you're identifying the topic. But this is negative. So in the past simple, I brushed up on algebra. So algebra is the subject. So if you brush up on it, it means you review it, you try to remember your past knowledge of algebra. He didn't brush up on his subject. Very nicely done. And Jonathan, smash that like button. Thank you so much. Okay. How about this one? Oh, last weekend. This will have to be a little bit creative because we have this picture of a broken bone. So he broke his bone, which is so to break a bone That is the expression to break a bone. And then you can be specific. Well, which bone? I have many bones in my body. To break one's leg. He broke his leg. Okay. So that's the past simple, but what could a negative be? Ooh, honestly, I don't know. You're going to have to get creative. So maybe it could be this, I don't know if this is a man or a woman, this man, this woman, this, it looks like a younger person, this boy, this girl, this child, my neighbor, my son, my daughter, my niece, my nephew, I, my husband, my wife, whatever the subject might be. But what could be a negative statement that describes this picture? Huh. Lychee said, last weekend, he didn't mind his steps and broke his bone. Very nice. So he didn't mind his steps. So if you mind his steps, if you mind your steps, it means you're careful about your foot placement. So if there is an uneven surface, there might be a sign that says, mind the step. Mind the step. So it means be careful with the steps. Pay attention to the steps. Be cautious of the steps. Last weekend, he didn't mind his steps and broke his bone. Very, very creative. I like it. Okay. So we have a negative in here. We have a negative. This is also very creative because Dindy said, last weekend, I went hiking because you go hiking. Go hiking because hiking is a physical activity. And we often use go with physical activities, go and the verb in ing. I went hiking. That's the past simple and broke my leg. That's the past simple, but very creative, adding on a negative sentence. I didn't like it. Excellent job. Very nice. Okay. Zishan said, my friend didn't know the consequences of fast driving. Oh, very nice. So the friend didn't know the consequences when he drove very quickly, but then he found out the consequences because the consequence was he broke his leg. Anna said, last month I didn't have a good time because my son broke his knee. Exactly. I think that's just a typo on the word broke, but there's no R, just broke, oak, broke because my son broke his knee. So I didn't have a good time. Exactly. I didn't have a relaxing weekend because I had to drive my neighbor to the hospital, maybe. Oh, as Ezat said, he didn't sleep well. Excellent, very creative. So I slept well. That's the past simple. I slept well. I didn't sleep well. He didn't sleep well last night and he is not focused. Okay, the last part I'm not too sure of because you focus on something. So it's a little incomplete to me, but your first sentence, your first part of the sentence is perfect. Okay. Last weekend, Andrew says, last weekend, my cousin had a car accident. Yeah. So you can have a car accident, to have a car accident. And then the past simple is had. So irregular. I'm sure you know that. Last weekend, my cousin had a car accident. Fortunately, he was not in dangerous situation. He just broke his left leg bone. Exactly. Very nice. So he wasn't in, I would say, so a situation And then you need an adjective, a dangerous situation. Otherwise, you could get rid of situation and just say he was not in danger, period, or in a dangerous situation. Okay, excellent job, everyone. Let's try another one here. Okay. Another negative statement, a picture that is maybe a little confusing. So, what could be the negative? And then again, think of your subject. She, my sister, my girlfriend, my teacher, my neighbor, my coworker, I. What's your subject? Be creative. And then what is the negative? What is the negative? Hmm. Well, think about this. And then I just saw one from the last picture. So while you're thinking about this one, his broken leg didn't stop him. Excellent job of the past simple in the negative. And then the subject here is actually his broken leg. So as the subject, it would be it because I, you, he, she, it. So it's not he didn't or you didn't, we didn't. The subject is it, which represents his broken leg. It didn't stop him from going out. Really nicely said. Awesome job. Okay, what can you guys think about with this picture? Last weekend, Miraj said, last weekend, my friend didn't expect. Oh, so excellent. So the base verb is expect, to expect something to happen. I expected the storm. So you expect something, you don't expect about something. It's just I expected the storm. I expected to break my leg. So my last weekend my friend didn't expect the situation, the exacerbated situation of this assignment. Yeah, excellent job. So just instead of about, change it to the because it's the situation and then exacerbated is the adjective, the exacerbated situation of this assignment. Very nicely written. Great job. Ashen said, last weekend she didn't have a blast by reading her book. Exactly. She didn't have a blast. So to have a blast means to have a great time, but she looks bored or tired. So she didn't have a blast. You don't need by. You can just say she didn't have a blast doing something. So you just need that gerund. She didn't have a blast reading her book. Okay. Anna said, my sister, excellent job choosing a subject. My sister didn't want to read. Exactly. She didn't want to read. My sister didn't want to read, so she climbed up a tree and had a rest on it. Exactly. Very nicely done, adding this additional information with your positive past simple and just have a introduction in the negative. Really nicely done. Okay, so let's move on. And this time, a question. A question. So for the question form, you need did, subject, and then base verb. So think of what the subject is, think of what's going on in this weird picture, and then what could be a question. So you see this, maybe your friend posted this on Instagram or wherever on social media in a WhatsApp group, or your friend sent you this photo with no explanation. And so you want to ask your friend a question about this photo. Okay. So Jonathan asked a question. Did you pass a fun weekend? Nice question form. You started with did, subject. The only thing is in English, we don't use pass a fun weekend. That's probably what you use in your native language for the verb choice, but in English, we don't use it. We use the verb have. Did you have a fun weekend? Did you have a fun weekend? But perfect question, Jonathan. Okay. Excellent job. When did you go on a tour? Yeah, absolutely. So my question was more of a simple question, but you can ask a WH question. When, who, what, where, why, and then we generally include how in the WHs, even though it doesn't start with WH. When did you go on a tour? So if you say, did you go on a tour? Of course, the answer is yes, I did. No, I didn't. But if when did you go on a tour? It's assuming they went on a tour and you just want to know when. Excellent job. Okay. So let's look at this one because we need to correct something here. Of course, it's just a typo at the beginning, did instead of dis. I know you meant to write did, so that's just a typo. But did they, what do we need? Because you need did subject, which you have, but you need the base verb, Did they get? And then you also need engaged. So the ed, because it's the adjective form. Get engaged. Get engaged. Did they get engaged? Did they get engaged? Excellent job. Very nice question. And yeah, maybe that's why they're celebrating. Did they get engaged? Okay. And Najib said, did you have fun while celebrating your alone time around the world? Exactly. Did you have fun? Very good. Anna asked, did you go on holiday in the USA? Exactly. You can go on holiday. Did you go on holiday in the USA? Very nice. Okay. Yes, exactly. So Najib, get engaged. This is the correct spelling. So did you get engaged? Very nice. Farrelson asked, did you have fun with us? Exactly. Did you have fun with us? And Mamuna asked, did you make some new friends? Exactly. You make friends. And then, did you make some new friends? I don't recognize some of the people in this picture. Yeah, because Mamuna is asking her friend who posted this on social media or sent her the picture. Very nice. Very nice. Well, as I read some more, here is the next picture. So, did whoever these people are, again, you can imagine your friend posted this on their Instagram or sent you this in a WhatsApp or a text, and you want to ask a question about this picture. Okay. Farrelson asked, why did you move to a new house? Excellent. So remember, to add that WH, it's very easy. You just put it right at the front because the question is, did you move to a new house? And then it's a yes or no. But if you ask why, now you're not answering yes or no. You're providing the reason. Why did you move to a new house? Excellent job. Very nice. Here's a good one. Janet asked, how did you take this picture of us? I really like that. Really. Okay. Did you take this picture of us? That's the basic question. And then you can add a WH. Why? Why did you take this picture of us? When did you take this picture of us? But I like this. How? How did you take this picture? I didn't see you with a camera. You were inside the whole time. How did you get this picture of us outside? Great job. I like that. Okay, did you already? What do we need? The next word. Did, subject, base verb, base verb. Did you already load the car? So if you use already, then you don't use yet. Did you load the car yet? Did you load the car yet? Or did you already load the car? Excellent. Did Maria stay in bed this morning? Exactly. So maybe there was supposed to be a third person helping with this move, but she's not in the picture. So did Maria stay in bed this morning? I like that. Manuel asked, oh, no, sorry. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I meant to put up this comment actually. Manuel asked, did they sell their house? And okay, so did they sell their house? When you have the word and, you need the same grammar as the first verb. So did they sell their house? Did they move to a new one? So you move to a new house. This is a mistake I see where students change the grammar of the verb after and. Did they sell their house and move to a new one? Excellent job, Manuel. Okay. How about this picture? This is a fun one. Your friend posted this on Instagram. Your friend sent this to you on WhatsApp. Now, what question would you ask your friend about this photo? And remember, the subject can be any subject. Did your sister, did your family, did your kids, did your husband, did you, of course, you can use you as well. Did they, did your friends and you? Okay. So, what could the subject be? And then what is a question you're going to ask about this picture? Looks like a fun picture. So, Dindy asked, did you enjoy the amusement park? Exactly. Did you enjoy the amusement park? It's so funny. Asham asked the exact same question. Very nice. Great minds think alike. So, Dindy, Ashen, you have great minds. You think alike. Oh, Freddie asked, did you like? Very nice. Now, notice the next verb is in ing because the base verb is the verb like. So now the next verb has to be conjugated according to the previous verb, like, and then your next verb is ing. Did you like riding on roller coasters? Excellent question, Freddie. Very nice. Liam asked, how long? Very nice. So the question is, how long did it take to ride the Ferris wheel? Yeah, how long did it take to go in a complete circle? Very nice question, very advanced, adding that how. How long did it take to ride the Ferris wheel? Very nicely written. Jonathan asked, did your girlfriend? Yeah, your friend posted this and you know your friend's not on vacation. So did your girlfriend go on vacation? Very nice. And you go on vacation. Excellent job, everyone. There are so many amazing comments here. Did you play games? Exactly. Did you play games? Did you play any games at the amusement park? Oh, did you get motion sickness when you went on the roller coaster? When you went on the roller coaster. You could also use the verb ride in the past simple when you rode the roller coaster. So you can go on a roller coaster or you can ride a roller coaster. Did you get motion sickness? Oh, that's that feeling of, oh, motion sickness. Very nice question. Okay. Oh, here's an interesting question, Paulo. What's the most thrilling attraction in this amusement park? Very nice question. Yeah, absolutely. Mamadou, you can ask about the weather. Did you enjoy the weather? So you don't have to use the word around. If you use around, you would have to specify something. Did you enjoy the weather around that part of the city? But it would sound better to just say, did you enjoy the weather? Did you enjoy the weather? Yugari asked, did you get a discount for the ticket? Yeah, it's a discount. Did you get a discount? Excellent question. Very, very creative question. Everyone, you are doing such a great job. There are so many more amazing questions that I would love to read, but we are out of time. So for me, this hour just flew by, which means it went very fast. What about you? Did it fly by for you as well? Did it fly by? Notice I just asked you a question in the past simple. Naturally, I wasn't practicing that. Did it fly by for you? So, if it did, it's probably because you like this style of lesson. So, make sure you like it, subscribe, and put yes, yes, yes if you want me to keep doing these live streams. If you enjoy them, if you like the format, then put yes, 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 yes. So, I know you enjoyed it. And thank you so much for joining me, participating. I loved reading all your examples, and I will see you in the next lesson. And if everybody says yes, 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 and I know you like it, then my next lesson will also be a live stream. Bye, everyone. Bye.